Welcome back to Channel Everybody, and today guys what we're doing is we're just coming towards Cobham, so if you like the video you can, well I'm going to pause the video, so I'll see you when we're in. So we're about to walk in now, so this is Cobham, I don't know how old it is. It's like a boarding school for girls.
We start under the aerial view of the house, and I say to you all, welcome to one of the largest, most important Tudor houses in the southeast. There was a building on this site right back to the 12th century, but the oldest part of the building that now remains are the two wings that were built by Lord Cobham because Queen Elizabeth had come to stay and he felt that he needed to upgrade his accommodation for her to return. Sad thing was that both he and Queen Elizabeth had died before the two wings were finished. But the Lord Cobham, who owned the land that this house was built on, actually was given the land in 1200 and became Baron Cobham, having distinguished himself in the law at that time. Then the 10th Lord Cobham was the one that built the wings, and then after that, his son rather blotted their copybook because the king took all their land and the house and everything away because of their conspiracy against James I. And then he passed it to his cousin, the Duke of Lennox and Richmond. So that was James I's cousin. So this house has been owned by the Baron Cobhams, the Dukes of Lennox and Richmond, and then the Earls of Darnley, which is where it's passed down to through modern times. And every time the house was passed through, well, not every time, I won't say every time, it was remodelled a little bit, as people do now. You move to a new house and you remodel it. Now, this is the age of the parts of the house. So the wings, but as I say, the wings that are like the sticks of the H that come forward are the oldest part, which were built 1584 to 1602, and then in 1662, that is in Georgian times, the then Duke of Lennox and Richmond demolished the old house, which can't have been too shabby, although there are no drawings or paintings left, so you can only imagine what the oldest house was that was built in the 1200s, because he wanted a more impressive Georgian middle part, the bits that went between the two very impressive Tudor wings. So as we go round, I'll point out which bits are the oldest bits and which bits are the remodelling. And as you see here, this is the newest part of the remodelling. Looking at the ceiling, this Gothic north entrance that goes this whole passage. If we go back, we'll have a look. As you see, the stained glass windows, the ceiling and the entrance being covered, that was in 1809. And that was all arranged by James Wyatt, very important name, which you will see as even though they modelled it all that time later, they put the emblem of Queen Elizabeth I on the wall there. You can see it there. Now let's walk back so you can look through at all the Gothic development here. They're very fashionable at the time. You see the stained glass windows, the ceiling. And when this was built, as I say, 1809, they moved this fireplace from the south. Yeah, you see, this fireplace was moved from the older building to make it really impressive. All this whole building was made to be impressive. So this bears the date 1587. So 1587, and this was the Giles to Wick fireplace, and it's got the emblem of the Lord Cobham and the Order of the Garter. He was a very important man. And on the top, you see that there's the head of the Saracen, which means that his ancestors had been in the Crusades. So this is really impressive. As we go through, they keep going back to when this development was made in 1587 and how to impress people the history of the place. You'll see that there's a picture of Queen Elizabeth I. The original was here, but there were lots of beautiful original paintings. That's now in the National Portrait Gallery. It's just a picture. In the front is a plaque wall which commemorates the First World War, when the house was used as a hospital for originally Australian officers, but then later on English as well. And I'll develop the Australian connection later in the tour. In the Second World War, the pilots who were flying from Gravesend Airport were billeted here, and they had a great deal of fun.
I don't think the airport's a lot are still in now.
Including quite a lot of fire damage, where they just thought they burned the furniture. So this entrance, as I say, the ladies' entrance, the third entrance, so that the carriages will go under the arch, and then the very important visitors will get out under cover, and then be suitably impressed with this wonderful entry door.
Oh, I think yeah, I am. Oh, I think we're going up the stairs. I think we're going up the stairs. Not, or is that the other way? Oh, look at the. Huh?
What's that?
It's just one of the probably ones that owns it.
You're not going to have a wooden staircase, that's not impressive enough. You're going to have a granite staircase. They had a huge amount of engineering to keep that weight up above the ground. And not only was the granite impressive, this wrought iron, Tudor wrought iron, that is still there. 2 world wars, they could have taken that away from munitions, but the government knew how important it was, and it has been there. Nobody touched it the First World War, nobody touched the Second World War. And this guidebook in 1918 said that wrought iron was gilded. How impressive would that have been if it was all coated with gold?
Oh, we didn't go up.
Yeah, we're going to go up it.
Up and away.
Mummy, we're gonna go up here.
I'm slipping a bit. I've all got to come in.
I just wanted to draw your attention to these urns on the way up, because these were in the garden. But in the 90s, some white band man came and stole one. they're extremely valuable because they're made of something called codestone. So they're not actually stone, it's actually a baked material. A recipe was made by Mrs. Code, and it is harder than stone. So the weather is much better than anything in stone. And there are examples of this in Buckingham Palace Gardens, in Kensington Palace Gardens, on London Bridge, and at Ham House in Richmond. Codestone, the recipe died with Mrs. Code, and they're trying now to retrace the steps, experiment, to find out how she made something harder than the stone. And as you can see, so beautifully finely carved, moulded, I think it would be, but it can hold its beauty, very weather like limestone or other materials.
Charlie stole one.
Well, it was even around there.
I need to get there. Oh, are you right?
Yes.
I was saying it was remodeled. You saying?
He also was a Knight of the Garter. The anchor is just to show that he was the High Admiral of Scotland. So that's very, very close to the crown. In fact, on the wall you see there a picture of Mary Queen of Scots. So that was James's mother, the Duke of Lennox and Richmond, aunt, and of course, you go back to her. Right, I'm going to I'm going to see if I can avoid that. If you come this way, this
Looks a bit scary that whole way. Looks a bit scary, doesn't it?
Now this was the development on the top of the entrance, so the ladies in their crinolines could actually walk out onto the flat to the higher level of the garden outside. As you look out, you can see those are actually the teaching rooms of the school now, but in times gone by, that was gone out onto the grounds above. And in the grounds, they had, the reason that Queen Elizabeth was so keen to come and visit, twice she visited, was because the gardens were renowned for their very strange plants. So it just makes you wonder what the plants were, doesn't it? We need more investigation, but these things need to be written down what to know about them. And then later on, they made a menagerie, which is like a zoo up there. So we know they had giraffes and
Elephants? What about elephants?
I don't think there was an elephant. I don't know that there wasn't an elephant, but I haven't heard an elephant mentioned.
And what about penguins?
No, I don't know. Do you think it might be warm? But you'll see the trappings of the school here as you the academic prizes there. And as we go through this corridor, you'll see their artwork in this drawing. Now this is a very old corridor. You can see that as you go through.
Huh? You lost bloody Nana.
What was I doing? No.
Huh?
What was I
You can hear it. Just feels like you're going to fall through it. Feels like you can feel through it.
Yeah, even this is
Mum, we're still going. Everybody, this is the artworks from the kids.
This was a remodelling. It was actually an extension of the top. And if you look out the windows, you can see the age of the glass. Yeah, I was saying that. If you look out, that's the courtyard. This is what we call
There would have been a pond there, Mum.
and the buildings
So probably a
behind
pond
were
there.
built for the servants and the
Oh, look, they probably had a fountain there.
horses were behind. In 2007, they got Heritage Lottery money to have it restored. So when you look down, you can see the pavement looks new, and if you look across, you can see the difference between old window frames and new window frames, and old doorways and new doorways. So that was the restoration. So this corridor was actually made to have the artwork. They had absolutely thousands of priceless pictures. The Duke, the Earl of Darnley would have gone to the continent, as they did. They called it, the Grand Tour, and then come back with treasures. The timing of that might have been about the time of the French Revolution. So the French aristocracy just wanted to get rid of their paintings. I have a list of paintings that were in a Sotheby's auction in 2022. And there were Canalettos, there were Rubens, there were Titians, and Lilies, and it was just amazing that they actually had all this artwork, but they sold it all together. Probably have got more money then. But so they would be all across here, and there are pictures on the walls of the artwork.
You think it's made by kids?
This is the part that is actually haunted.
Oh, it's haunted, Mum, that was it?
Yeah, people who are completely sane have told me that they have seen the ghost. What, it's haunted in there? Was it through there, son?
Yeah, it's haunted in there.
He said this impressive. No, not that impressive. 2 doors.
Yeah, it's haunted in there.
How odd. I wonder if one's to keep the ghosts in.
Would it be like, what's it called? They're Ghostbusters. The big heavy dog hit them in. Oh, you can't see them.
It looks like deck up on the top there. No, that's Jordan.
Oh, look, a bin bag.
So this
Excuse me.
is being decorated, which is lovely. You can see as you go around, it actually is a bit teal. There are bits that are buckets that the walls and so it's nice that this is being done. If you like to go 2 at a time out and have a look at the
Mum,
that's the
did you have any music going and then here with Nana? Oh, divine.
And that is change the story, because of course, as should we say, they did everything to impress. That was to impress.
Well, you can go to
And
the
this
side.
is the Jordan side of it. This is the Jordan side. Yeah.
Go on, Nana.
This was actually
You go there.
design of James Wyatt. This remodelling.
Oh, God, you up high.
And it was someone who no, just go. Speed it up. Speed it up. All goes so slow.
Yeah, it's the tea room. It's probably where they...
Did the guys do?
Yeah, this where they do the... Hello, everybody. Don't want to film me eating.
Filming, son.
Yeah,
Oh, look at the ceiling. Yeah, do the ceiling.
I might do the thumbnail here. Oh, yeah, I've done it. Excuse me.
this is your point I was talking about later. So here is the next door room. If you've already been down there, please come quickly because this has got hand-painted wallpaper.
Hand-painted wallpaper.
That is
God, it would take them bloody years.
God.
Nowadays, it's all machine.
I love that old.
And you can tell it's so because it's coming away at the...
Seams, a bit like me. I'm coming away at the seams.
Yeah, it's very up high. You're in the top bit.
God, what a place to board, honestly.
Mum,
Place to stay.
Mum. What are you?
What a place to board, honestly. Look at this. It's all original.
Yeah, you up
Oh,
high.
there's a chandelier, Mum. Yeah. It's quite small for the room, though, isn't it? Yeah. Hand-painted wallpaper.
was done by the rector, which was the son of the rector who redesigned the garden. The garden was redesigned at the time of the James Wyatt remodelling the new entrance, the third entrance.
Yeah, I have.
They did a lot of taking out of trees and making the park and the views, which is absolutely beautiful from the windows, which is a beautiful view. And now the trees are ancient,
Ouch.
you have to have vision to remodel the garden. So the rector brothers, and as you see on the fireplace, there are lots of musical motifs. And this is the thing about the Guildhall, which you will now see. It was built to start with in the Georgian times as a banqueting room, but then later on, the musical Earl Darnley wanted it to be a music room. So they
Could you go for banquet? I said, could you go for the banquet?
Because they were very keen on symmetry, they had to have two balconies. Anyway, I'll talk more about the Guildhall later on, because these rooms, these staterooms, are very important because in those days, important people would meet people in their bedroom, or
It sounds
this
like
is
my type of time.
like the
No,
day
you
room.
don't.
The day bed. So this room, this French wall with Chinese
You just
wallpaper,
need people.
terribly fashionable at the time,
Just say it.
extremely expensive. But so everything that is done at that time, money no object. But then later on, you can see that they would get less and less money to maintain it. So if you pass through to the state bedroom,
Oh, good. First. They got a full canister bed. Full canister bed, everybody.
Quick, God, that's a bargain.
this room did have hand-painted wallpaper in the same vein
Probably took it down.
as the other room, but it was on some things and could be taken off and was sold at the time in the 1950s when the house was actually given to the state in lieu of death duties because they ran out of money. But at the time, the height of their wealth, as you can see, they had magnificent beds that cost £90, which, as you might imagine, is a huge amount of money in 1768.
Yeah.
Now, at one time,
You don't look very big.
and not directly, but the mistress had slept on
My
the
legs
bed.
would be dangling off of that.
And the hangings are actually original, which is absolutely
Legs would be dangling
amazing.
off.
Underneath the state bed, we will actually gloss over the cotton. There's maps. Now, the map I'll point out downstairs where they're the place where they should be. And why they can't be here. I don't know.
It's really weird because it looks like someone's been sitting on that.
Yeah, it
You
does.
can see the indentation. Yeah, I think so.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
I'm Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yeah, looks like someone's sitting on it.
My legs wouldn't touch the ground.
It's like pigmentation.
It's beautifully painted.
Have you got the ceiling fan?
That door there goes to the bathroom. That door there doesn't actually go anywhere.
just a door.
These benches here, they're actually up here, but they were designed in Georgian times to go in the alcoves in the gilt hall. But when they
Look,
put
the feet.
central heating in, the radiators got in the way, so they just brought them up here, and they've sat here ever since. I think the headmistress slept on that bed. When it first opened, when the school first opened, this was set up as a dormitory, but then they put the accommodation elsewhere. So things have changed over time, and this ceiling, if you look at the magnificent ceiling, that has recently had a little bit of restoration in it. But it is, as you can see, still beautiful.
So when did they got this school?
Pardon?
When did it become a school?
Oh, right, yeah. What happened is in 1955, the then Earl of Darnley gave it to the government in lieu of death duties. It was in a bad state then, it was very nearly derelict. There were some ceilings down and so on. But the Department of Works did some restoration and made it sound, and then they leased it to the Westwood Educational Trust, which was the school that started Cobham Hall School in 1962. Wow. So the mending, shall we say, took some time. But as we say, thank heaven that the government realised how important it was, or it could have been demolished and an estate built on a lot of land. Oh, yeah. So as you see, it's got shutters with decorative fronts. It's got the cornice over the doorways, just to impress, and those griffins over that is the emblem of the Darnleys. You'll see those in beautiful places.
It's like even the settings looks like it's been settled.
That's a cute little setting, isn't it?
And then you wouldn't get two people on it. Not nowadays. Not nowadays, no. This must be where they do the meetings.
This door is where the school room is.
Oh.
Oh, that's a shame.
I was just going to show you something with you. But here is that's where the school is, you know, the accommodation for girls. And there's actually at the moment some language school going on. So it's called, if you see emerald things around, that's the language school. There are quite a lot of Spanish people, but they come from all over, and then they stay and have intensive English lessons. So there was a Roman villa found on the land of the Cobham Hall, and here are the relics that have been found. There was a urn full of coins that they thought were gold, but ended up being brass. And these are the things of school life, with the academic prizes that finished in 1907.
That's nice. Nice, eight's nice. I'm just going to see if I can have a little peek.
No, it's not.
Oh yeah, I can see a little bit.
Right, so if you look at
Secret store.
see where the clothes down the urns could have been outside that kitchen. Right, shall we retrace our steps and see if we can get into the gallery?
The library, I think.
Let's retrace our steps and see if
Cobham in 1962. Her name was Harriet Hattie Blythe.
So retrace our steps and see if the other party
Oh yeah, we can trace our steps. Even that looks like it's been settled.
Oh yeah, well there are people that do it.
Or like, or the ghosts of having a convict thing. Have a gathering. I said the ghosts probably think like they're having a gathering. So that's what it looked
Remember, you're
like.
with me, because you'll get I thought we were going to do the long gallery, so if we pass through. Oh.
Kiki, yes, you're doing well.
Sorry, everybody, I'll just look at the camera.
We're actually over.
Oh, are we right?
Take a seat.
There.
Sit down.
Oh God, no.
This is, if we stay here long enough for them to finish up the talk about that. So this was constructed originally to be the place where ladies would when there was a tenant. And when it was constructed, there were windows inside.
They're very low.
The bays, the sides, so remodelling, you know, a little bit of remodelling changes. But this is original. This is there was a chap called Giles DeWitt, and he came over from the Netherlands, and he was here for 25 years doing all these magnificent fireplaces. It was very impressive, you know, these fireplaces weren't there to impress. This one is ironic because this was the 10th Lord Cobham, and this is yet again Saracen's Head of the Garter, but the Latin inscription is every man creates his own shipwreck. And that was his son that managed to lose the estate, confiscated by the crown because of the conspiracy. They weren't quite sure that they really wanted James I to come down to Scotland, although history will tell you that he had no opposition. The truth of the matter is that Queen Elizabeth had said to him, "You will agree that you won't
Sweating.
challenge me off the throne and while I'm alive." That kind of implied that he would have the throne after she died. But there was a lady who was her cousin, called Arabella Stewart, and she was brought up in Derbyshire by Bess of Hardwick at Hardwick Hall. If anybody's heard of Hardwick Hall.
No.
Very, very rich woman, Bess of Hardwick, widow. She had did a lot of construction up there, but she brought up Arabella in the expectation that she was going to be queen. And I have here a picture of Arabella, And you can see that she does look very much like Queen Elizabeth I. She didn't have any expectations herself, it was what other people expected. And we know what happened with Lady Jane Grey, that she didn't really have any expectations, but other people got expectations on her. But this is actually what happened with Arabella Stuart. Because she would definitely be Protestant, and they weren't sure whether James I would be Roman Catholic, that some people, Lord Cobham, his brother who was reading theology in Oxford, Walter Raleigh, they all wanted Arabella Stuart. You won't have heard of her. She's virtually airbrushed out of history. She went in the end to the Tower of London and starved herself to death. So that was what happened to Arabella Stuart. She is consigned to history, and Lord Cobham lost everything. So then, as we say, it was the Duke of Lennox and Richmond, who was a duke, who was a cousin of James I, was then Lord of Cobham Hall, together with other lands all up the country. But he, the sixth Duke of Lennox and Richmond, very close to the then King Charles, had married, shall we say, eloped with a lady called Frances Stuart, called La Belle Stuart, and she had taken the eye, shall we say, of Charles II, because you know what Charles II was like. He liked his mistresses, so he wasn't very happy with her eloping with somebody else. So he very carefully, shall we say, sent him to be the ambassador in Denmark, and then he fell off a ship, got hypothermia and died. He's a widow. No offspring. They were only married 5 years, so that's very sad, really, because it seemed like a love match when they eloped. And he wanted to make Cobham Hall wonderful for her, although he didn't have much time to do that. And then, so he didn't leave Cobham Hall completely to his wife. He left half to his sister, who was Lady O'Brien. You will see later on in the tour that O'Brien is the name that comes up. So she owned half. She bought out La Belle Stuart. So when she thought that her then husband would be able to help her with finances, so he mortgaged it. And then when he died, she thought that he would leave to her, but he didn't. He left a third of it to his kinsman, which sounds like his natural son. So for generations, they were going through chancery. If anybody knows Charles Dickens, you know about chancery, that it's a law courts that really have no conclusion, because the only people who win are the lawyers who are charging them the fees. And the person who is most wealthy can keep the lawyers paid. So in the end, thank goodness, this chap who was called Hornsby fainted away. But generations later, when it was the Darleys, they were actually talking about the law courts that they were going through. So it was a huge drain on their finances as well. But anyway, so the thing was that there was no mail line that went from the Dukes of Lennox and Richmond, and it went down to a lady called Theodosia Hyde. So she was the female, but no titles. She was cousin to Queen Anne, and she owned Cobham Hall. And then she was courted by a chap called John Bly, who was an Irish farmer, but he came from the West Country, and he'd gone to Ireland when they started confiscating the land from the Catholics and then giving it to the, so it's all a bit sad really, giving it to the Protestants. He could go over there and get lots of land. Had 35 acres in Ireland. To marry Theodosia Hyde was quite a lift for him into the aristocracy. So it was after he married Theodosia Hyde, the money from Ireland would finance Cobham Hall to keep it maintained. And at the time of his height of wealth, they owned virtually all the land from the Medway to the Thames. There was, as I say, the Earls of Darnley went down right until the 1950s. The Cobhams, let's go back to the Cobhams, because the Cobhams started in the 1200s. They were eminent. They owned lots of land. They actually didn't live here. They lived in Cooling and had Cooling Castle armoured, and then they also had got together John the Founder, third Earl of Darnley, Lord Cobham. He made the first stone bridge over Medway and founded the Medway Bridge Trust, which goes on to today. At the end of the bridge, you will see the chapel that he built. And does everybody know the castle? It looks like a proper castle, doesn't it? That was developed by John Cobham. Along the much larger fireplace was a big great room, but I want to draw your attention to the two pictures beside them, because that was the Australian connection. Is that the mod?
If you like it, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, you can. Follow, share, all that good stuff. I will see you on the next vlog. So yeah, nothing else to say is goodbye. We like it in Cobham Hole. Oh, yeah. Brilliant place. I'd recommend it when they do get up their website up. I'd highly recommend it. It's very good. So yeah. So there's nothing else to say is have a nice day. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye-bye.